there. I hope you're all doing well. Tonight's video is going to be a crochet with me video. I've done one of these before on my channel, and in that one as well I also did soft spoken instead of the soft whisper that I usually do. And I got some comments saying that they really liked it, so I figured I could do that again for this one. There's a lot that I want to, I guess, talk about or mention, but maybe I should get started and we can talk while I crochet. So, I'm making a tote bag for a friend of mine. I've done this checkered pattern a couple times before to make a tote bag in the same exact pattern that I've followed. And it's been a lot of fun and it's worked out every time, so I wanted to make another one, and she liked the pattern, and her favorite colors are pink and purple, so that's how we're doing this one. I've been having a lot of fun with it so far. It's a simple pattern, but it's interesting enough to keep my brain engaged without being too complicated where I can't just zone out and do it. So these are my favorite kind of patterns. I'm using a 3mm crochet hook, just a little baby guy. I know you can't hear I'm tapping for the visuals, but I've got my short nails today. I wonder if just some little soft taps, I guess. I do like getting to use this one since it's pink. And it also kind of goes with the pattern. It's not the exact same pink, but it's still fun. Okay, I've got my little stitch marker here, just marking my place where I was last time, and it's also pink. I tried to use stitch markers that are the color of, let's see, I'll set that there for now, that are the color of the hook that I'm using, just so that I remember, because sometimes I forget which hook I'm using for which project. This is just some basic acrylic yarn. These are some of the first yarns I ever got, so I'm sure they're just cheap stuff. But they work for what I need. I just have had them for a really long time still. As you can see, I'm about to run out of purple. But I've got another one on deck, just in case we do. So, it's just consisting of double crochets, if you know. If you know anything about crocheting, I guess I wanted to mention that. So, I'm just going to show you how I'm turning this, just in case anyone's curious. So I've just done 2 little chains there to go up to the length of a double crochet, and so that I keep these color changes on the same side, I want to keep it on this side as well. They don't stand out as much on this side, but as you can see, this one is really clear, but I just want to keep it consistent. So for this one, it's actually a little easier. I just keep this pink yarn on this side and make sure that this purple yarn stays on top. And then, as long as I hold on to this pink yarn, keeping it in my stitches, this train, then I'm good to go. And actually, now that I'm looking at this, I think I've been doing it wrong. I've been doing the opposite of what I just did, I think, on this side. But it's okay. At least these stitches, you can see. So this is what I was looking for. This side is the pretty side, and this is the ugly side. But since these aren't very noticeable, they'll get eaten up by the crochets that tie the panels together anyway, so it'll be fine. This is, of course, my first time filming this setup, so I was a little nervous about it. I hope that I got stuck. I was gonna say, I hope I'm at a good angle here. Maybe I turn a little bit. So I do these. So I do these 3 double crochets, and then on the 4th one, only pull through the first time, and then switch colors, making sure to keep the pink in front so that they don't get tangled. And this yarn holder has come in extreme handy for this specific project that I've done a few times. Usually it's pretty tricky to keep the yarn untangled and in the right spot, like the yarn balls, the yarn cakes, so that they don't get tangled, but this keeps it really, really simple. I don't crochet the correct way. Switching my colors, making sure to keep the pink in front and tying them tight. The way that I do this, where I grab it and pull it around, I don't think anyone else does that but me. I think the reason I do this is, well, because I first learned to knit when I was very young, around 10, probably 10, 12, maybe a little bit younger than 10, I'm not sure, from my grandmother. just barely learned. I never even made anything. I just made like a swatch and that was it. But I remember when I was learning to knit, the way that I did it, and I don't even know anything about knitting now, so I don't know if this is protocol, but there was a lot of like grabbing the yarn, wrapping it, moving your hands, you know. It wasn't like crochet where everything kind of, you're holding everything in one way the whole time, at least how most people do it. So my hands move around a lot. I've been trying to practice, I'll show you, the traditional way. Let me unwind a little bit of this yarn. Sometimes it gets a little funky on these things, is the only issue with them, because neither of them are screwed in straight. They rotate at an angle, both of them do, so it makes it a little difficult. And the yarn sometimes will unwrap on top or on the bottom. It's just a little tricky sometimes, but it's still worth it. Okay, so if I were to do something like this, my problem is I like to grab my project with this hand, so this finger is not always free, and it's hard for me to keep my tension tight, and then I also can't grab the yarn. It's just so tricky. I don't, and then see, like, am I supposed to grab the project? My index finger is, see, it's like, it's moving anyway, so it's just the way that works for me. It makes me go so much slower when I try to do it the quote-unquote correct way. Sometimes wrapping it around my pinky like this does help, but just because I grip it with my pinky and then it starts to cramp, so if I do the wrap method, it's a little easier on that pinky. But most people, their right hand is what gets injured or painful or sore when they crochet. For me, it's my left hand because it's this pinky. I get really tight on this side of my hand just from gripping the yarn so tight. So I have to make sure to stretch my hand out. And actually, now that I say that, I should do that just to be a little bit easier. But see, then it slips off my pinky anyway. Maybe it's the way that I do it, I don't know. I have my special way of doing it. And it works for me. See, like this, I feel like I have no control. I just like the death grip on everything, I suppose. Not even a death grip, I'm holding everything decently loose, but it gets really tight from holding that tiny piece of yarn. I'm trying not to let it slip out. Okay, I pulled a little bit of this yarn out because now this one's squeaking. Like I said, it's not the best quality maybe, but it does the trick. There's a truck or something outside, I can hear it running. Okay, I guess now my list of things I wanted to talk about. Just within the setup, just about the setup. I just am curious, I guess, what you think about any of it. Any thoughts? I didn't want it to be too busy on my desk, too much for the eye to handle. But I also didn't want it to be completely empty. I wanted it to feel cozy and lived in without being too cluttered, I guess. I don't know. So let me know what you think about how I have it set up. I've, of course, got some of my little crystals. My crystals out. Of course, I've always got to include them. Another thing that I wanted to mention is my coffee. I know it probably looks like matcha. Matcha, 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 matcha. It looks like really nasty, bad quality, yellowish matcha, but it does look like matcha. But it's actually a pistachio cookie dough. Cookie dough, cookie dough, cookie dough, cookie dough, cookie dough. Kind of like a latte. I don't use espresso, but I do kind of make them like lattes. And it's really delicious. And I've got a clear bow on this straw. It's so good. Very yummy. There's also just a little bit of white chocolate sauce and a dash of vanilla. Vanilla extract, not vanilla syrup, because I already put so much sweet in it. Something really nice about this pattern is that my brain kind of works in fours. 5 gets confusing because that's when I have to start counting, like going back and counting, going back and seeing, wait, like I can't, my brain stops understanding. I'm pretty sure, I don't want to claim this without, actually having it, but this has been something that's on my mind lately, is that I'm pretty sure I have dyscalculia, or however you say it, dyscalculia. I sound like I don't know what I'm talking about. I just have never heard anyone say it out loud. I just have researched it pretty recently. Numbers, I know I'm not dyslexic. I know that's not what it is. I know I don't have dyslexia. My sibling does have dyslexia, and I know that my experience is very different from theirs. But numbers specifically, it feels like my brain, like I didn't get the part of the brain that understands numbers. I understand 4s and 8s and 12s. Like I understand things in terms of 4. I accidentally did. I always do that when I finish that last stitch on accident. It's just really easy to go back through those 2 loops. But that's only because of dancing, is that I can count in 4s. And when music is not in 4s, it gets a little bit trickier. It's easier when it's music for me, because music just makes everything easier for me. It's the only way that I remember numbers easily, honestly, is songs and rhymes and things like that. So when I'm dancing, I can count a lot better than when I'm not. And crocheting is a lot of counting, and it's torture for me sometimes. So this is a really nice pattern because it's just fours, and not only do I not have to count because it's fours and my brain can understand looking at a 4, but also I just follow the squares. So once I'm done with this square, I switch to a different color. And it just makes it really simple to zone out. And I can listen to music or watch something if I want, or just listen to ASMR even, and just zone out and relax, which is my favorite part of crocheting. Also, sometimes these crochet hooks have this sleeve on the outside. It's a full metal hook on the inside with a sleeve, and sometimes these silicone sleeves start to slip. So what I do is I have to get a flat, like a hard surface. Anything soft, it won't work. And I just stab it a little. This desk, as you can see, is completely been loved and destroyed over the years. So I don't have any qualms about all these little stab marks that I'm making. It's battle scars. It's craft battle scars for this desk. I don't even protect this desk anymore. It just feels like part of it is. It's like documenting my life as I go. I don't know. This desk has also been in our family for a long time. It's been my desk, it's been my mom's desk, it's been my siblings' desk. Oh, I don't need to change colors here. Because the top of this one will also be pink. So this is where I keep the purple at the back. Flip it, make sure that it stays on that side. So making sure I get under that yarn. And just wrapping it up in those stitches. So basically taking it from the front to the back again. So nothing gets tangled. And now keeping that purple in the back. And I'm working up to 13 rows of 14 across. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 done. 4.5. So what is that? 8.5 left. Because 4 would be 9. Minus half is 8.5. Is that right? Okay, I was starting to get a little chilly, so I put my cardigan back on. really hope that this is visually pleasing, I guess. This is something that you guys can at least, even if you can't see it up close, just so you can see it at all. I can't see the viewfinder from this point, so of course I know what my framing looks like, and I can check the framing when I'm sitting here with the mirror, but I don't know what it looks like while I'm crocheting. I mean, I took a little clip to test, but you just never know, and I get a little nervous. So hopefully it looks okay. That pink is so wobbly and squeaky right now, so I keep having to cut it every time I have to pull on that yarn. This yarn has been behaving well lately, knock on wood. Sometimes I have issues with yarn splitting, or just, I guess, a lot of splitting. But it's been behaving pretty well. Oops. Pink in front. Pulling my stitches tight. I love this pattern. It's a lot of fun. And it's very satisfying. It's one of those where I can just sit here and really enjoy crocheting. I'm in a phase lately where all I can think about is crocheting. So it's really, really nice when I am crocheting and I get to just zone out and just appreciate that I'm crocheting. just have fun, just be present with it, I guess. It's hard. It sounds maybe really weird, but I'm not present when I'm looking at a pattern and skipping back, going back and forth between watching a video of, watching what to do, trying to follow a tutorial, and then doing a couple stitches, and then, it's a lot. It's not a flow state. It's not a flow state. And when I can get into a flow state with crochet, it feels so nice. And this is a pattern where I can really get into that flow state. And like I said, I can listen to music because I don't have to count, so I can, get into the beats and not have to make sure I'm keeping track of what I'm counting, I don't know if that makes any sense either. This is just a peek into, I guess, the way my brain works. Once again, I'm gonna just stab it down. I keep feeling the need to be talking, but I also think that just the sound of crocheting, the sound of the crocheting is really nice. And also, in moments where I'm watching ASMR and trying to take note of what it is that I like about videos for my, just for reference for when I want to film, how I want to do things. How did I start that sentence? I don't know. The point is that sometimes I just notice how much I like those moments of silence and how tingly those are because of the contrast and how much that adds to the relaxation. Especially if I'm trying to sleep. Because if there's just too much stimulation the whole time, then my brain can't rest. I need just the right amount of stimulation to sleep. If I have zero, I will just panic. I've been like that my whole life. I've always needed some kind of noise to sleep to. Literally, since I was an infant. I would always need music, like lullabies, to sleep to. And then, so, as soon as I gained consciousness, basically, and can remember, I remember, sleeping to, like, classical CDs, lullaby CDs. There was, like a Native American flute CD that I had that I loved so much. Oh my gosh. That was one of my favorites. So just soothing and beautiful, beautiful, beautiful music. Like, the sounds are just so, like, that, I don't know, there's something about that flute that just gets into your brain and it's like, it scratches it the right way. You know what I mean? I think about that CD a lot. It's not even that specific CD. It is that I think about. I always wish that I could figure out what it was and find it and listen to it again and hear it, but of course I can listen to other music like that now, but anyway. Point is, I've always needed some kind of something. So for a really, really long time it was things like that and classical music until I was probably in about middle school or sometime in elementary school, sometimes towards the end of elementary school, because people made fun of me. People started making fun of me. Like when I had sleepovers and stuff. I remember one time specifically putting on classical music at my birthday party sleepover. And I probably put it on out loud, and everyone was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "It's relaxing. Like, don't you want to listen to it?" And they're like, "This is what you listen to?" Like, just kids being kids. Classical was lame. But I liked lame stuff. And I still do. I don't think it's lame, but, just kids are mean. Kids are mean. They'll bully each other about anything, so that was one thing that was different about me that people like to point out, was that I listen to classical music. Not even just to sleep, I just always, I remember up until, getting an iPod, I would have classical music on there. Just have always loved it. I also grew up doing ballet, so it's been comforting to me because of that as well, probably. It's always just felt familiar and soothing. It feels like itching your brain, you know. Scratching your brain, itching your brain, scratching your brain, whatever. I eventually started listening to different kind of music to sleep. And then other like relaxation CDs of just like, you know, like Zen music, that kind of stuff. Eventually in middle school, later in middle school, when I got into YouTube, because I discovered makeup videos. That is what became my ASMR. I got the biggest ASMR from makeup videos. It didn't even have to be like relaxing speaking. It could just be like with music, like with loud, pumped up music. Just the visuals of somebody doing their makeup was insanely tingly to me. Tingly, 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 tingly. Insanely tingly, 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 tingly. To me, I remember specifically, it was the first makeup video that I watched actually, because I was looking for the Miley Cyrus Can't Be Tamed music video. And I clicked on what I thought was the music video, and it was, because it had a picture of her in the thumbnail, but it was a makeup video. It was a tutorial on her eye makeup in that music video by Miss Jessica Harlow. One of my old favorites. And the rest is history. I became obsessed with makeup for years and years and years and years and years. And that's when I also learned how to do hair stuff and nails. That was when I like really was able to get into learning it, because I'd always been interested, but I didn't have anyone to teach me, or that I wasn't allowed to really wear makeup. I wasn't even allowed to watch YouTube. I was doing it in secret. I was just secretly watching hair and makeup videos. Tutorials and nail art tutorials. That's what I was doing to rebel as a child. Anyway. That was what was my ASMR for a really long time, was makeup videos. Promise Fawn, Dope 2111, here on YouTube. Obviously, I just keep talking about YouTube. This is all on YouTube. Was my go-to for a long time, up until I discovered actual ASMR videos. And I think I've probably talked about all this before, actually, now that I think about it, because I've talked about how the first ASMR video I watched was Trisha Paytas. She was how I found out about ASMR, because I was a follower of hers at the time. Back in the day, I was a really big fan of her. I watch her ASMR now, but there was years where I didn't really engage with any of her content at all, and I don't watch any of her non-ASMR stuff now. I just like her ASMR. Anyway, once I found that, and then, you know, I was like confused by what she put out. I was confused by what I was watching. So I did some more research and found some more videos, and then I was like, oh, yes, this is what I've been needing. This is exactly what I've been needing. And kind of, you know, makeshift doing with makeup tutorials. Just getting ASMR where I could, basically, you know, getting my ASMR, the ASMR reaction, the actual ASMR, from wherever I could. usually makeup videos. Those flavors go so well together. I mean, it's like pistachio and chocolate with extra steps. And we're all figuring out that pistachio and chocolate go well together now. With all the Dubai chocolate stuff. If you haven't tried anything that is Dubai chocolate flavored, I do recommend it, even though it's probably a little overhyped at this point. I just have always loved pistachio, so I love that it's really getting its time in the sun. I'm the kind of person that loved pistachio ice cream even when people told me it was for old people. But now it's cool and trendy, you know. I'm not trying to be like, I liked pistachio before it was cool, but really I did. I'm not angry about it. I'm not saying I'm better than anyone. I'm just saying I'm happy that it's finally getting its time. Because it deserves it. I think I'm gonna finish this row and then be done. Or maybe I should. Maybe I should finish the row after as well. So that it's, you know, the squares are done and I'm not just leaving half squares. I don't want to drive anybody crazy by doing that. Not that I don't know if I would, but I don't mind. I'll keep going. I just know this video is already going to be really long, which hopefully that's okay. I hope that, like I said, that this video is at least somewhat visually pleasing and soothing, because that's kind of the point of it. I mean, I guess it's not the only point. A lot of the times I get, you know, just audio ASMR from things that are supposed to be visual anyway, but I'm realizing that I've been holding my project up, so I hope it's still been in frame. Of course, as I was talking about, I hope it's still visually pleasing. I was not even thinking about my framing. Or I've been trying to anyway, but I guess I just didn't even realize how far off the course I had gotten. Not that I need to be parked like straight on this desk the whole time, but I just want to make sure that, you know, you can see what I'm doing. I also hope that this lighting isn't too bright. I didn't like how it looked without the lamp. But of course I still want it to be good for sleep and relaxation. I don't want it to be too overstimulating, so I guess just let me know what you think, if you have any opinions, or if you've gotten to this point where you even are hearing me ask. Ooh, my cat is back there making some noises. I actually have a few different crochet projects I'm working on right now. There's another bag I'm working on for the same friend that hopefully I'll just send her at the same time, so I'm hoping to kind of get them done at the same-ish time. Ish. I'm also working on a new purse for myself because I've had the same one for a while. It's in this checkered pattern. I just don't feel like it's my style. I don't know if checkered ever really was my style. I just really like doing this pattern. So that's why I've done it so many times. I've also made another one of these for somebody else too, so I'm pretty sure I've done this pattern 3 times. This will be my 4th. But anyway, I want some new bags because I just don't love the style of the checkered for myself for what I'm, trying to lean into now. I love that I basically have just enough purple yarn to make it to the end of this row. Like I said, I've got more, but it just feels really perfect for it to kind of be ending right at the end of that little ball of yarn. I feel like there's so much more I could talk about, but like I said, I know if this video is already getting really long. I can't make it last forever and ever, even though I'd like to. I wonder if maybe one of these days I should do like live streams so I can really just ramble at you guys. I don't know, let me know if you'd like that, I guess. Something that I've just kind of assumed that I wouldn't do, but I'm not completely opposed to it. I don't know. If you guys are interested, let me know, please do. Because I would definitely look into it if you were. I think it could be really fun to interact with you guys that way. Which honestly sounds really exciting, so I guess just let me know. That's what I mean by my yarn not behaving. Splitting like that. That happens to me quite a lot. But it's been pretty good recently. I think this smaller hook helps it behave because it's not as hard to get in between the stitches. And it still grips it just fine. We're getting close to the end here. Fix my hook one more time. Like I said, let me know any opinions you have about the setup, about the desk or the lighting, or also if you like having the microphone in the frame. I like that usually personally, being able to see it, especially if there's something sparkly on it like this, or just something pretty on it. But if it, if it makes it too cluttered or crowded, then I guess let me know. I'd love to do more of these videos. Like I said, I think this is only my second time filming one of these, but it's a lot of fun just to crochet and chat with you. So I guess let me know if you'd like me to do any more of these. Not the yarn getting squeaky right at the end. Literally, that whole stitch was so squeaky. Why are they squeaking so much right now? Right as we get to the end. Well, that's gonna be where we're gonna leave it off for now. I'm going to pull my loop up just a little bit and put my stitch marker back in. So now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows. Just under halfway done with this panel. And then I'll have to make another one just like it. Such a satisfying texture to run my fingers across. It's both smooth and bumpy at the same time. Okay, anyway. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and I appreciate you being here so much. Alright. Like I said, if you want another one of these, just let me know, and I would be happy to do more. But until